aren't the droids we're looking for.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's them. Blast them.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Jerry here from Jerry's Game Shop. And I just want to thank you for tuning in. I know that this is not the normal content that you see from us. We love producing battle reports, and I am editing one. I know it's been a long time since I've put one out, but I've got one almost ready to go. I promise I'm going to get it out to you guys by Friday, which is like a week from today. But I've got one coming up. Today we're going to do something a little different. I've got an unboxing planned for you. I've got Moff Gideon here. In the next couple days we'll release one with the Dark Troopers. But I wanted to crack this thing open, let you see it, and help you think about whether or not this might be something for you. Also, I wanted to let you know that we're going to be giving away one of these, and I would love to ship it straight to you. So if you live in the continental US, we would love for you to leave a comment below, make sure you subscribe. If you're a subscriber and you leave a comment below, that's going to automatically enter you into our giveaway. So make sure that you do that, because we want to send you this for free for $0. It's going to be awesome. I got my copy of Moff Gideon from thegildedgrayland.com. They're a local store opening up here in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where I am at. But they also have a website, and so if you're interested in picking that up, you can pick this up for 10% off if you use code JerrySentMe at checkout. And that's JerrySentMe at thegildedgrayland.com. So without further ado, let's dive into Mr. Moff Gideon. All right. So, if you know anything about the latest releases from Atomic Mass Games, there are no longer actual instructions in here anymore, just these really cool little poster things. But I wish I had a good place to kind of display these, because these are pretty cool. There's also a QR code right here that you can scan, and that's how you access the instructions. So here's the sprue. Let's take a look at this. Let's open it up. Got his cape here. We got the dark saber. It looks like you have two different options for that right hand. It looks like the right hand has a blaster or the dark saber. So if you don't think you're going to be running him with the dark saber, you can hobby him with that right arm and the pistol. That's pretty cool. We got the tactical rock that AMG likes to put out. This sculpt looks really cool. I'm really excited to hobby him. I really like that red of his cape there. So there's the sprue. Let's see what else we got in here. Got our base. That's always awesome. And we got our tokens. You're gonna get some observation tokens, because one thing we'll see with Moff Gideon here in just a moment is that he has a free observe action, so that's gonna be really nice. Okay, so first you're gonna get the Darksaber card. Moff Gideon's Darksaber is essentially the same as Sabine Wren's Darksaber. They're both 5 black die surging crit, impact 1 and pierce 1, and then they also gain immune pierce in melee when they have the Darksaber. The slight difference between the two is that Sabine gains Dauntless and Moff Gideon gains Demoralize 1, which is really, really cool, especially in the new, with the new rule set that kind of places a bigger emphasis on that suppression. Before we take a look at Moff Gideon's command cards, let's take a look at his unit cards. So, Moff Gideon, the first thing we see is that he is 5 health and 3 courage. That 3 courage is really, really good. That's going to be really, really huge. It's less good whenever you're running him with Imperial Remnant, just because the courage bubble is not as large as you would see in a larger army. But Courage 3 is really, really strong. He also has Surging Red Saves, which is going to be really, really good. He's going to be really tanky. The next thing we see is Observe 1. Observe 1 is a free action for Moff Gideon, and essentially he can place an Observe token, which is one of these guys, on an enemy unit at range 1 to 3 and in line of sight for free. It's a free action. Any other unit that, or Moff Gideon himself actually, can spend that observe token to reroll 1 attack dice. So that's really, really good. Entourage Imperial Dark Troopers. Entourage means that if he is at range 1 of the unit listed, that he can just issue them an order for free. He does not have to take any of the orders from the command card to do that. And then you can also take 1 additional of that unit than the maximum rank allotment for that unit. So you could run 3 Imperial Dark Trooper units if you had the points somehow to run that many. Ruthless, this is a new keyword. This is a really, really good keyword. I'm not gonna, Moff Gideon seems very, very strong. When another friendly core trooper unit at range 2 and in line of sight that has a face-up order token activates, it may suffer 1 wound to perform 1 free action. This is crazy. Being able to pull off a double move and an attack from one of your tankier core units may be really, really big, especially when you pair it with some of the command cards coming up. Sharpshooter 1, that just reduces the enemy's cover by 1. When you're attacking. In Tactical 1, Moff Gideon is going to gain an aim token after he performs a move. That's also going to pair really nicely with his command card. So his weapons, he's got a range 1 to 2 blaster pistol that shoots a red and 2 black. It's Pierce 1, Surge Crit, and then you factor in Sharpshooter 1 in there. That's really good. He's also not bad in melee with 2 red dice in melee. So let's take a look at Moff Gideon's command cards. The first one that we have is 1 pip is Die at My Hand. Die at My Hand reads this: Moff Gideon gains Relentless, 1 aim token, and 1 dodge token this round. That is huge on Moff Gideon because he already has Tactical 1. I'm assuming that if you're doing Relentless, you're going to be moving twice because you can attack for free after that. And with his Tactical 1, that's going to give him 3 aim tokens total when he pulls off his attack. So if you were crazy and wanted to run Moff Gideon with Tenacity and you had the Dark Saber, that's 5 black, 1 red, Surging to crit, Pierce 1, Relentless, with 3 aim tokens to guarantee that you get paint through. So that can be really nasty for a turn if you decide to use him in that way. Number 2, this card is really designed thematically around the Dark Troopers, and I just want to remind you that we're going to be putting out a video on the Dark Troopers very soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. This 2-pip is called You Have Something I Want. It's a super cool scene from the Mandalorian series. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but you should go watch it. This card says that this card cannot be chosen during the first round. After orders have been issued, choose a friendly Imperial Dark Trooper unit that has a face-up order token. Remove that unit from the battlefield, keeping all tokens, then place it on the battlefield beyond range 2 of all enemy units. Then flip their order token face down. So that sounds like a horrible thing until you remember that the Dark Troopers actually get 2 order tokens. So they will get an additional activation after that. So you're not just dropping your Dark Troopers at range 2 of an enemy and then just leaving them there to get shot at. So this card is really, really cool. One thing, we'll talk about how this pairs with the Dark Troopers in the Dark Trooper unboxing video. But there are so many things that you can do with this. You could do this to extract objectives. Maybe they pick up a hostage somehow. Maybe they tap Evaporator. Maybe you're dropping them in next to your opponent's Evaporator, or next to a Recover the Supplies box. So there are all sorts of objective-oriented uses for this card, or you can just use it to get up in your opponent's chili and just get those Dark Troopers up in there and let them cause some havoc. So really, really cool card there. Another crazy cool card, his 3-pip, Moment of Consideration. This is crazy. This can go to 3 core units or 3 heavy units. Units issued orders by this card gain fire support this round. This is also insane because you can take heavy hitting units and fire support them into other units that might have out of cover shots. So a couple ideas I already have going around in my head. If you have a snow trooper unit with a flamethrower that's got blast and they're up in your opponent's face, you could use that. You could fire support into that flamethrower. So your snow troopers are going to be surging hit. Say that you had, for best case scenario, you had an extra snow trooper plus a flame trooper shooting at range 1. If you're shooting into a 6-man B1 unit, that's 6 black dice, 5 white dice surging hit. But then if you fire support a T-21B shore trooper unit that doesn't normally surge into that, you are adding another 7 black dice and 2 white dice and critical 1 in there, and it all surges hit. So you can just get some insane fire supports going, even if you're fire supporting your dark troopers. If you're fire supporting your dark troopers into another unit that might surge crit. Moff Gideon himself, you could fire support into Moff Gideon, who surges crit in his Pierce 1 with his gun. So there are some crazy fire support things that you can set up. So overall, Moff Gideon is really, really strong. If you are looking for a solid commander, he is in the ballpark points wise with Callus, with General Veers, with Iden Versio. I think he is probably on the higher end. I think he's probably I think he's definitely way better than Veers, way better than Callus. Sure, there are situations where you know, Callus or Veers might shine in an area where Moff Gideon doesn't. But if you just look at that 100-point ballpark, man, Moff Gideon is really, really strong. Now the question is, should you play Moff Gideon? And my answer is, if you like him. And I don't mean that like if you think he's really good or really strong. I mean if you like the character. I love Star Wars Legion because of the characters. I love the shows, I love the books, the cartoons, all of them are just really, I love the storyline, so I really get attached to characters. And I think Moff Gideon is one of those really cool and really unique Imperial generals or Imperial leaders. And so if Moff Gideon, if you're really drawn to Moff Gideon, he is definitely in a space where he can be competitive. His command cards are really, really strong. If you want to run him as a melee threat, the Darksaber is really, really strong. If you want to use him to support your gun line, that is also great because of his ruthless keyword. So he's just all around a really, really great choice. So if you want to pick up your own Moff Gideon, make sure you head to thegildedgreyland.com. I'll have a link to Moff Gideon in the description below. Make sure you use code JerrySentMe for 10% off. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next time.